They may, gangbang and get in fights and altercations. People in middle class, upper class have money and they kill themselves. This is not a us and them thing. This is a we thing. This is a human condition. All right. Well, my name is Ephraim Washington Laidley Jr. The shirt. This is you can see it. This is a End of Violence shirt, ETV. It was the brainchild of Sean Stevenson. Brief history on Sean Stevenson. That's my community partner. We've been working together for the last few years, and we now collaborate. A lot of times people see me and they see him, and we look different, I guess, and so they don't usually pair people like us together, but they can tell like clearly we're close, right, like family, and so it's a very interesting relationship because while we may look different, appear different, have different backgrounds, we have a common mission, right? And the mission, I would say overall, is really to see people overall in general, in particular the most vulnerable, realize their God-given potential, right? Their talents, their abilities, and to help them see those things, we actually have to aid them from a safety, right, economics, health, and education perspective. I've been in trap houses. I've been, north, south, east, west. I've been in drug houses. I've been with hitmen. I've been with, current and former drug dealers, current and former gangbangers. But when you take some of those individuals and you help them get a job, right? You help them be productive. You remove a lot of the barriers so they can actually start to see themselves. Not the selves that we may see or we think they are because of their circumstances, whether we consider those things or not, but really who they are as individuals. Then you start to see them come out, and they start to see them come out. And then we pair that with credible messengers, people with, from similar backgrounds who've been system involved, right, and that are now making a positive difference in the community. Then they actually start to get hope, right? Because that person Sean represents an image of who they thought they wanted to be at the same time while representing what they do now want to become, which is a positive actor, so to speak, and have their health, safety, economics, and education, kind of taken care of kind of all at once. It's not enough we give out backpacks and supplies and things like that, but when it comes to saving a life, how many backpacks can you give out? How many backpacks would it take to save a single life? 100? 1,000? 5,000? A lot of the stuff is good, but at the end of the day, if people don't feel safe, whether it's housing, economics, a job, if people aren't busy and engaged, where they can actually have pride and feel good about themselves, that just doesn't apply to people in the streets. That's people overall, right? They may, gangbang and get in fights and altercations. People in middle class, upper class have money and they kill themselves. They commit suicide. They mutilate themselves. They mutilate others, right? So this is not a us and them thing. This is a we thing, right? This is a human condition. Exactly. This is a human condition. So when you think about it like that, it's really not that different. What I do at work versus what I do outside of work, people think it's a drastically different thing because the audience.
Let me ask you, obviously you're a VP, you're in tech. By all accounts, you live a comfortable life. What inspired you to even start this journey? Because some people might say that's dangerous, or that's challenging. What kind of motivated you to get started? And everybody's got a pet project, right? But this is a really hard pet project.
I grew up in, I was going to say, short answer, my mom dropped me on my head, and I'm just kidding. Hi, Mom. I grew up in East Cleveland. Right? I was born in Cleveland proper, lived there for a short stint. I was raised, grew up in the projects in East Cleveland. So I was exposed to a lot of different things. And while my macro environment wasn't the greatest, my microenvironment in the home was. My mother and my father, excellent, very strong, and we grew up, here's the thing, we grew up on assistance and WIC and food stamps and Section 8 and all those other things. So I know about those things firsthand. You know what I mean? Brand names and all that stuff like that. So I grew up with that. I get it, to that degree, right? And I had friends that either are in jail or dead. I don't have many friends that are even alive from when I was in elementary school or middle school in some cases. So middle school more so, because in the middle of middle school I actually shifted to Cleveland Heights. And so I also saw the gap in education. I did well in school, and I went from them wanting to, in the East Cleveland City Schools, wanting to put me on Ritalin and medication, to going to Cleveland Heights, and I guess they did some tests, in transition, and them putting me in gifted programs and AP classes, and I did well in those.